strong set position. Feet hip width apart. Soft bend in the knees. Shoulders are up, back and down. So let's roll those shoulders up, back and down. Good. And we're going to start with our hip hinge. So send those hips back and bring the weights down to the tops of the knees. Good. And slowly coming back up again. Good. So hinging down to the knees, stopping at the knees. That's it. And then coming back up again. Lovely. Your hip hinge is looking great. Neck in line with the spine. Careful not to initiate from the knees and then coming back up again. So start just by sending those hips back. The knees bend eventually. That's it. And coming back up again. Let's do a couple more of those so you get a feel for it. Send those hips back. Beautiful. And coming back up again. And one more. That's it. Well done. Lovely. So let's go into that hip hinge position and stop. And then bring the elbows out to the side. We're in our dead row. And then coming back down and standing back up again. So 4 moves with this one. Hips going back. Remember, initiate from the hips. Lovely. Pull those elbows out to the side. Good. Lower them. And then stand up. So I'm just going to give you a teeny tiny little tip there. Just watch me on that. So you're going from here. You're pulling quite severely up. If you just lift and lower and then stand up. So rather than trying to get those elbows up higher, just lift them as high as they will go comfortably. Lower them and stand. So hinge. Bring those weights down to the knees. Nice. Slowly bring those elbows out. That's it. And then bring them back down again. Nice. And standing back up. It's a lot kinder on the joints if you do it slower. So hinging particularly because you're dealing with that injury. Pulling. That's it. Lowering and standing. No point in trying to force. Let's carry on forcing the range of motion. We just work with the range of motion that's comfortable. Good. Lowering and standing, and 2 more Moira like that. So remember, we're grounded with those feet, pulling with the elbows, lowering and standing, and we'll do 1 more. So hinging, pulling, lowering and standing. Nice. Let's reset to that strong set position. We're going to do our upright row now. So push your weights towards each other and start with your elbows just a little bit up. So we're like in this lovely strong position to just lift those weights up to the center of the chest. There we go. And back down again. Beautiful. Make sure you're not locked out in your legs. You want to have a strong, that's it, a strong set position. The hips go back slightly, and this just gives you that strong core, and it means that the core gets to work. Lovely. And keep your chest high as well. That's it. Nice. Nice and positive with those elbows. So really send the elbows up high. That's it. Good. 2 more like that. Lovely. And then stopping there, returning to that strong set position. We're going to do a combination move now. So we're going to do that deadlift, right? And then the upright row. So slow and within your comfort zone. So hinge down to the knees. Remember, hips first. Good. Lift those weights up. Reset, strong set position. Lift the weights. Lower the weights. Back to the hip hinge. Good. Stand up, strong set position, a lift and lower. Good. 2 more like that. So hinging, standing, lifting and lowering and hinging. Nice. And standing and lifting and lowering. Well done. Stop there. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. We're just going to do 1 arm at a time, and that's to lift a straight arm out in front of you. and bring it back down again. So remember, we're in that strong set position, other hand lifts and comes back down. Good. And if you find that your back is hurting because you've got this strong set position with this gentle bend in the knees, you can switch your core on. So pull your belly towards your spine and squeeze your glutes. And that's why we're in this position, so that we can hold ourselves with our core. Good. And just lifting and lowering those arms. Let's do 6 more. So we're doing 2 things here. We're working the front of the shoulder, but we're also working the core. 1 more on each side. And last one. Well done. Stop there and roll your shoulders up, back and down. And let's come down to the floor to do our glute bridges. So setting up on your back with a heavy weight. So coming down onto your back with your feet hip width apart. Your head is on the floor with your chin gently tucked. And you're holding onto your weights. So heels as close to your hips as you can get them. That's it. And ground down through those feet. We're going to start slowly bringing those hips up and then slowly bringing them back down again. Good. So just getting a feel for the weight. Keep moving. The moment the hips come back down to the ground, lift them back up again and coming down. Nice. So this is just a little bit more of a warm-up for those glutes before we add a bit of speed, but we're also just checking in with our technique here. So keeping the chin tucked, and we're safe because we're holding on to those weights. Nice. So lifting and lowering. Good. Beautiful. 2 more like that. Nice and slow up, nice and slow down. Nice and slow up, nice and slow down. Good. Let's change the tempo. So let's go a little faster. Up for 2 and down for 2. So adding a little bit of speed. Now you will start to feel this in your glutes. Remember, squeeze those glutes as much as you can. Really important muscles for keeping us upright and keeping us strong. Pushing and down. Oh, good. 2 more like that, and then we're going to change the tempo. Lovely. So we're going to lift up and hold it there for 1 and 2, and then come down slowly. Good. So lift, hold it there for 1 and 2, and then come down slowly. Good. So lift and hold, 2 and down. Keep going, just like that. Lift and hold and lower. Good. Lift and hold. All these isometric holds, really good for you. And then lowering. 4 more like that. Lift and hold and coming down. Lift and hold, lowering. Last one. Lift and hold and lower. Good. Good. So lift up to the top now and hold it there for me. And then lowering down. Come up and hold. And just hold it there. And then coming down. 2 more like that. So lifting and holding. Keep holding. Keep breathing, and then lower. And one more. Lift and hold. Oh, that feels good. Really good burn in those glutes. And then lowering. Well done. Right, keep your hips down on the ground. Take the weight in both hands and lift that weight above your shoulders. Now we're going to do our tricep extensions. So squeeze your elbows together and bring the weight down to your forehead. And then lift the weight back up again. That's it. Bringing the weight down to your forehead and lifting. Nice. So glutes getting a little rest here while we work the backs of our arms. Lovely. So still squeezing that core, pulling the belly button down towards the floor. So we've got that strong and stable foundation. And we're just slowly bringing those weights down to the forehead and lifting them back up again. So keeping that discipline of the elbows pointing up to the ceiling, and that upper arm does not move. Bit between the elbow and the shoulders just locked in. Good. And it's just that lower arm. So now we're going to speed it up, changing the tempo. So come down for 2 and up for 2. Now the work starts. Good. Down for 2 and up for 2. And people mistakenly think these are quite small muscles, but they're actually rather large on the backs of the arms. People only think they're small because they don't actually use them that much. Lovely. 2 more like that. And we're going to change the tempo again. And down. Lovely. And now we're going to go down to the forehead for 1. And then we're going to lift up slowly. And down to the forehead for 1. And lift slowly. Good. So really lock that core in to support you here. Lovely. Lifting slowly. 2 more like that. So lower and lift slowly. And last one. Lower and lift slowly. Lovely. Back to that 2 and 2. So a little bit faster. Down for 2 and up for 2. Lots of triceps today. These are our magic pulling muscles on the backs of our arms. Good. And lifting. 2 more. Lovely. Now we're going to reverse what we did. So we're going to come down slowly. So come down for 3, 2 and 1, and then lift for 1. So down for 3, 2 and 1, and lift. Good. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Beautiful. 3, 2, 1, and lift. And 2 more like that. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Last one. 3, 2, 1, and lift. Well done. Bring those weights down to your belly and roll yourself up. And I want you to go a little bit lighter because we're going to work our chest now. So we're going to do the chest flies. So I'm going to go slightly at 45 degrees so you can see. If you want to watch first, you can. So the weights start above you. Soft lock in the elbows and the arms come out. And you don't have to go all the way down. You can just come to here and then back up again. So just it slowly is to not go quite as wide either. So locking your core in, feet flat on the floor. Make sure that pelvic tilt is happy and then opening those arms. Now the thing that we need to work on here is being even. And remember, you've got that visual of seeing those weights above you. So opening those arms out. bringing them back together at the top. And those arms are going straight out and coming straight back up again, meeting in the middle. You might find when they meet in the middle that there's a bit of a wobble going on, so try and get them to meet evenly. My left arm always goes on a bit of a magical mystery tour with this. That left shoulder of mine, good. Lifting, opening out, and lifting. So I want you to now stop with the weights above you. We're going to add a little bit of core. So bring the feet up off the floor, and the knees are at 90 degrees. Shins parallel to the ground, and we're going back to that lovely slow chest fly. So now we've got to keep our legs straight. I mean, keep them even and keep them still. I don't mean straight. Opening those arms out and bringing those weights back up again. So really good for the chest here. Now we're working our pushing muscles, the opposite muscles to the triceps. Those chest muscles, also very important for posture. They need to also be strong as well as the back of the body. Good. So keep the core switched on there, pulling that back down towards the floor. And we're going to do 2 more of those. And last one. Well done. Now stop here and reset that core. We're going to go straight into some Pilates moves, our dead bug. So let's keep our arms up above our head, and you're just going to extend one leg out to the floor and then swap over to the other side. Good. Now just a quick tip. As you're extending one leg, you're pulling the other knee up. See if you can keep the other knee at that 90-degree angle rather than pulling. That'll make it a little bit harder. Good. So return to that neutral position and keep that knee where it is. Meantime, we're also just holding those weights, loading our cores. Good. Nice and slow. And those knees out. If you want to give yourself a rest and just hold those weights above your head, you can. And then we just extend one leg. Good. And extend the other leg. So keeping those knees where they are. Good. And keeping the arms where they are as well. Good. Ah, lovely. So the knees return to that neutral position. And one more. Good. Okay, now the legs are going to stay where they are, and you're going to go 2 hands above your head. So definitely working within that range of motion that works for you. So arms are straight, they go up overhead, and then they lift back to their starting position. That's it. So lifting overhead, we're now loading those upper abs, and then lifting. Good. Keep those shins parallel, keep those knees at 90 degrees. Lovely. Arms overhead, 2 more of those. And last one. Good, so we're going to stay with 2 arms, but then we're going to do 1 leg. So 2 arms and 1 leg extends. 2 arms, 1 leg extends. There's many different variations of this. And I like to start with the easy versions, and then we add on. Good. Extending. Extending 1 more time on each side. Make sure that lower back pulling down towards the floor. Last one. Oof, well done. And then bring those weights down to your belly and roll yourself up and come up to stand. Let's come up to standing. We're just going to finish off with some bicep curls. Because we've worked the backs of the arms, we need to work the fronts of the arms. So choosing whatever layer of weight you've got that works for you. We're in our strong set position. Roll those shoulders up, back and down. Good. And we're going to go one arm at a time because we're still working within the realms of caution here. Keeping those elbows glued to the side of the body. Beautiful. Really good discipline. Lovely. Lifting and lowering. Nice. Squeezing those elbows in, keeping those wrists nice and neutral. And again, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your core to keep that body stable. Lifting and lowering. Okay. You're going to lift for one, and then you're going to lower very slowly. Other side. Lift and lower slowly. Nice. Lift and lower slowly. Good. That lowering slowly is where we're loading those muscles. And lowering. Lifting and lowering. And one more time on each side. Beautiful. Well done. Stop there. I'm going to get you to bring your weights down to the floor. We're in cool down mode now. So let's start with those biceps. Reach your arm out towards me with the palm up and then push down on your fingers. This is to stretch those biceps that we've just worked. And with any stretch, you've got to hold it for a period of time so your body adapts. It's also a nice stretch for the back of the wrist. Good. Rotate through those wrists and we'll swap over to the other side. So hand down. Oh yes, this is my left side, my dodgy side. It's definitely always happier when it gets a good stretch. Nice. Now we did the triceps as well, so I'm going to come down onto my knees so you can see what I'm doing. Bring those arms out wide and stick your chest towards me. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. This is our chest stretch and the triceps. So right arm comes up and over, goes behind the head. Left hand takes a hold of the elbow. And if you want to, you can add a little side bend. Good. And open those arms out and we're going to do a chest stretch in between. So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Nice big inhale here. As you exhale, left elbow gets taken by the right hand. And we can come into a side bend here as well. Nice stretch there. Good. We need to stretch our glutes and the back of our body out. So if you come down to the 2 or 4s, we're going to just do some cats and cows. So tucking your chin, rounding through your back in the cat stretch, and then inhaling, lifting your head and lowering your belly. And this time in cat stretch, so exhale, come into cat stretch, and I want you to just stay in cat stretch and just wiggle your hips and your shoulders around to get a good stretch in the back of the body. Nice. And then come down to that 90-90 position as if we were going to do pigeon pose, but we're not going to. We're just going to do 90-90. Nice. And flex that front foot. Aim your chest towards that front knee and come down over it. And that's going to stretch those glutes out in a nice, gentle manner after all those hip hinges. Breathing here, just giving your body the space and the time that it needs to come into this stretch. One more. Let's come up and over to the other side. Just going to grab my little block. This is my new hip, and I can't get down quite as high on this side. So making sure that the foot is flexed, aiming your chest towards your knee, inhaling, and as you exhale, coming down. Oh, nice stretch in the glutes. And then inhaling and coming back up again. Now,